Today we look at Gemini Robotics, the foundation model from Google DeepMind that is now being offered to third-party robot developers. Instead of each robot maker training its own model from scratch, they can build on one shared foundation model, an approach often described as the Android of the robotics field. In the next few minutes, we cover what this shared model approach is, how it works, why it matters for robot makers, and what to watch next. Let us start with the core idea behind Gemini Robotics. Here are the essentials of Gemini Robotics in plain language, what it is and why it was introduced. Google DeepMind built Gemini Robotics as a foundation model for robots. Rather than a one-off system, it is designed as a shared base that many different robot makers can build their own products on top of. The confirmed point here is openness. Google DeepMind is providing Gemini Robotics to third-party robot developers. External companies, not only Google's own teams, can build directly on the model. Google DeepMind frames this under an Android of the robotics field model. Just as Android became a shared base for many phone makers, one foundation model becomes a shared base across the robotics industry. The core shift is consolidation. Instead of every robot maker training a separate model from scratch, they all build on one shared Gemini Robotics foundation model, with each adding their own products on top. Now let us look at why Gemini Robotics matters in practice. Here is where Gemini Robotics shows up in real products, teams, and decisions. Because Gemini Robotics is offered as a shared foundation model, robot makers no longer each have to train their own from scratch. They start from a common base and focus effort on their specific robots. The Android of the robotics field framing matters. It points to an ecosystem where many third-party developers build on one Google DeepMind foundation model, rather than each shipping a fully separate stack. Offering Gemini Robotics to third parties means the shared foundation sits with Google DeepMind. Robot developers gain a ready base, while the underlying model stays anchored to one provider, much like Android's platform owner. The practical signal to track is adoption. How many third-party robot developers build on Gemini Robotics as their foundation model, and how the Android of the robotics field approach plays out in real products. Let us recap the key takeaways on Gemini Robotics and what to do next. Gemini Robotics is a foundation model from Google DeepMind aimed at robots. It is being offered to third-party robot developers as a shared foundation model, not kept internal. Google DeepMind frames it as the Android of the robotics field, one shared base for many makers. Robot makers build on one shared foundation model rather than each training their own from scratch. We have seen how Gemini Robotics is offered to third-party developers as a shared foundation model, the Android of the robotics field approach from Google DeepMind. If you found this useful, subscribe so we can keep breaking down what is new in AI together. For more information, visit Standarity.com. See you in the next video.